I don't believe that we grow to be different. I believe that we grow to unlock our full potentials. So, before you continue, understand you are already enough and you already have more than what it takes. You just have to start. So, let's start here. The behavioral change model has multiple layers as well as several degrees of depth. However, we're going to stick to the 5 general steps. We have pre-contemplation, contemplation, we have action, we have maintenance, and then we have relapse or escape. For today, we're going to keep it very surface level and focus on the start of change and the important considerations when planning to make a huge change in lifestyle. With that being said, let's begin at the beginning and let's talk about how starting can also be stopping. To start your fitness journey, you'll have to stop overthinking. You'll have to stop letting emotions come between you and your goals, and you have to stop being overly hard on yourself. Let's start with phase one, pre-contemplation. For each stage, we're going to set a definition. We're going to set an application for general use as well as an application for fitness specifically. So let's start with the definition. What is pre-contemplation? Pre-contemplation is what it sounds like. It is before you start thinking. In order to better understand pre-contemplation, I'm going to speak through a few dichotomies as well as analogies to better wrap our hands around this abstract concept. We're going to talk about how two things can be true at once, even if they at first seem contradicting. Let's talk about a quote and see how it plays into our mindset. The quote is, "I am what I am, what I'm not, I'll never be." For example, I am accountable and I am irresponsible. I am here and I am absent. I am with and I am without. Take that last one the same as you would take a glass half full and a glass half empty. If you were to take only part of each of these sayings, you will be biased towards what you perceive to be good. For instance, whether you're full or empty, some people might perceive that as a good thing. However, if you consume them as wholes, you would understand that no one is perfect. In short, this stage is about getting over the overthinking and dichotomy that comes with anytime you want to start something new. There's going to be pros, there's going to be cons, but ultimately you have to get started. Another analogy would be tomorrow never comes. If you push it for later, if you push it for tomorrow, then ultimately it'll never come because you'll do it later, you'll do it tomorrow, or you'll do it next week. This isn't the stage for action. This isn't the stage for contemplation, but it is the stage in which you have to believe you can at least start. You can start today. You can start with an example, a declaration. You can declare, "I am fit." By declaring, you'll be taking accountability and responsibility for your future thoughts, your future actions, and your future mindset. This is a little bit of cheating because it's combining pre-contemplation with contemplation. But if you get an A+ on a test, you have to give and plan to give yourself grace when you want to make a change. There will be distractions, hiccups, and adverse events. There will be days that you fall off, days in which you fail to feel fit, but don't be too hard on yourself. If you made it this far, you've made it far enough to initiate the first step. So let's move to phase number 2, contemplation. What is contemplation? Well, contemplation is when you've officially started, when you finally got off the couch and you're trying to make progress towards your goals. So, another way to think about contemplation is when you start to plan, when you start to think, and when you start to act, or I'll call it pre-act. It's great that you declare change and you're ready to start, but there's a little bit more to it. We have to emphasize the difference between going from that pre-contemplation stage to the contemplation stage. Just getting off the couch is pre-contemplation. You don't have to actually make active steps. When you're sitting there and you think, "I want to work out or I want to practice healthy habits," that is that pre-contemplation, even if it's just an uncomfortable feeling. The actual contemplation is when you declare that. That's when you
begin to state and begin to make those steps to actually enact change.
Contemplation is the stage in which you want to set things in front of you that you actually enjoy, that you can bear, and that you can consistently accomplish. If you are at a current state in which you don't want to do this, it's mandatory, and you dread being there, then your first step of contemplation is figuring out, how do I get to a point where I can stand doing this, I don't mind being here, and I enjoy the thought of going tomorrow.
To truly benefit and experience a stage of contemplation, you have to set in front of you the things that you enjoy, the things that will benefit you, and the things that you can see yourself actually maintaining. Most of us, even personally, think I have to do this, I gotta get here, or this is mandatory. What we should be thinking is, I want to do this, I would like to go there, and this is beneficial for me.
It's easier said than done, and it's understandable that we all have responsibilities. But if you want to pursue your goals and you want to change your behaviors, then what you have to do is make a plan that isn't, I'll make it work or I'll figure it out.
Your plan should be in place to create a life that you want to live. To create a life you want to live, to have the job you want to have, and to interact with the people that you actually want to be around. If you dread your current circumstances and are in the crowd that simply makes it work or figures it out,
Your glass is only half as full as it could be. If you're instead in the crowd where, this is a beautiful day, I can't wait to see what happens, your glass will forever be full. At the end of the day, if you want to be fit, contemplation and pre contemplation will never get you there. At some point, you have to act, so it pains me to say. It's enough of all that. It's time to do. The action stage is pretty straightforward, but it is challenging because it requires action. It's time to accomplish the tangible, the replicable, and it's time to form good habits.
habits come about intentionally and unintentionally. For most of us, when we have unhealthy habits or